Okay, our today's topic is zeros and singularities. So first we start with zeros of an analytic function. Okay, so let us take an analytic function fz. Let fz be an analytic function, okay, in a region R. Okay, so suppose this is some region R, and let us take a function fz which is analytic in this region. Okay, this function is fz is analytic in this region. So we have to define the zeros of fz. Let us take a point z0 in this region R. So a point z0 in R, a point z0 which is in this region R is called zero of fz if f and z0 equal to 0. Okay, so if we put z0 in the given function, with the function is analytic, so if we put z0 in this function and if we get 0, then we say that this z0 is 0 of this function. Okay, so this is simply root, as we say that z0 is a root of the given function. So if z0 is a root of the given function, then it should satisfy to that function. It means f of z0 should be 0. Okay, so this is the definition of 0. But here one more thing is that we define now zeros of different orders. 0 of order 1, 0 of order 2, 0 of order 3 and so on. Okay, so but first I will take one example here. So let us take the function fz as, suppose we take fz equal to z square minus 1. So this is a function z square minus 1. So here we can see that if we put z equal to 1, okay, so if you put z equal to 1 here, so f1 will be 1 minus 1, that is 0. Okay, and similarly if we put z equal to minus 1 here, so f of minus 1, when we put here f of minus 1, the minus 1 square is again 1, so y minus 1 minus 1, this is also 0. So we can see that if we put z equal to 1, we are getting this function equal to 0, f1 equal to 0, and if we are putting z equal to minus 1, again we are getting 0. It means this z equal to 1 is a 0 of this function fz, and similarly z equal to minus 1 is also a 0 of this function fz. Okay, so that is z equal to 1 and z equal to minus 1 are zeros of the given function fz, and this fz was analytic. Okay, this fz equal to z square minus 1, this was analytic. We can take some region, so it is analytic, and z equal to 1 and z equal to 1 are the zeros of fz. So it means zeros are those points which satisfies the function. If we put here z equal to 2, so it will not satisfy this function. It means z equal to 2 is not a 0 of this function fz. Now we define the order of zeros. Okay, so whenever we have this type of 0, then we say that this is 0 of order 1 or simple 0. So now what is the definition of simple 0? Okay, so if f at, suppose we have this point z0, so if f at z0 is 0, but f dash at z0 is not equal to 0. It means the function is 0 at z0, but when we differentiate this function, then this will be not 0. If this is not 0 at z0, then we say that this z0, the point z0 is 0 of order 1 or simple 0. Okay, so in this case z0 is 0 of order 1, or we also say that it is simple 0. Okay, now if the function at z naught is 0, its first derivative at z naught is 0, but its second derivative at z naught is not equal to 0. Okay, then we say that this z naught is 0 of order 2. So this means z naught is 0 of order 2. And similarly, we can define 0 of order 3, 0 of order 4. So now I am writing for 0 of order n. So if f at z naught equal to 0, f dash at z naught equal to 0, f double derivative at z naught equal to 0, and so on, if up to n minus 1th derivative at z naught equal to 0, and if nth derivative at z naught is not equal to 0. So if nth derivative at z naught is not equal to 0, so then in that case z naught is a 0 of order n. Okay, so in this case z naught is a 0 of order n. Okay, so this is the definition of z naught, 0 of order n. So 0 of order 1, 0 of order 2, 0 of order 3 and 0 of order n we can define. Now in the previous example, as we have seen that the previous example was fz is equal to z square minus 1. Okay, so here if we differentiate this function, we get f dash z is equal to 2z. Okay, so here we said that z equal to 1 is a 0. So if we put here z equal to 1, so f1 this will be 0. But if we put here z equal to 1, f dash 1, so this is not 0, this is equal to 2. Okay, it means z equal to 1 is a 0 of order 1 or simple 0. Okay, because when we are putting z equal to 1 this function, we are getting 0, but we are putting in the first derivative, we are not getting 0. This is non-zero. Okay, this is non-zero. It means this z equal to 1 is a 0 of order 1. And similarly, we can say that z equal to minus 1 is also a 0 of order 1 or simple 0. So these are called zeros of order 1 are called simple zeros. Now we take one more example. So now let us take fz is equal to z square sin z. Now we want to see that what are the zeros of this function fz and what are their orders. That means they are zeros of order 1, 2 or 3. So we have to find their orders and zeros. So first we find zeros. So zeros are those values at which the function is 0. Okay. So here we can see that if we take z equal to 0, so z equal to 0, the function is 0. So it means z equal to 0 is a 0 of this function. But we also we have to find the what is the order of that z equal to 0. Okay. So here we can see that if we put f0, so 0 into sine 0, that is 0. So it means z equal to 0 is a 0 of this function fz. But we have to find its order. So we have to see that whether its first derivative is 0 or second derivative is non-zero, if whether it is first derivative is non-zero or second derivative is non-zero or third derivative is non-zero. So we have to differentiate this. Okay. So we differentiate this f dash z. This is equal to now we differentiate this sin z square into cos z plus 2z sin z. Now if we put here 0, f dash 0, so this term is 0 and this term 0. So again we are getting 0. Okay. Now we differentiate this again one more time, f double dash z. So we are differentiating again. So this is z square into minus sin z plus 2z into cos z and plus 2z into cos z and plus 2 sin z. This is the second derivative. Now we are putting 0, z equal to 0 in this second z derivative. So when we put z equal to 0 here, this term will be 0, this term will be 0 because z equal to 0, this term will be 0 and sine 0 is also 0. It means we are getting again 0. Okay. Now we find the third order derivative. So when we differentiate this again, okay, so you can see here that when we differentiate this again, this will be 2 cos z. Okay, and when we put 0, so cos 0 is 1, it means we are getting 2 from here. Okay, so it means this triple derivative will not be 0 because this is also 2z cos z and 2z cos z will be 4z cos z. So when you differentiate this, you can differentiate all these terms. So when you differentiate this, you will get some term with cos z, and cos 0 is not 0, cos 0 is 1. It means this triple derivative, we can find the triple derivative, and when you find the triple derivative at z equal to 0, this is not 0. Okay, so f0 is 0, f dash 0 is 0, f double dash 0, but f triple dash is not 0. It means this z equal to 0 is a 0 of order 3. Okay, so this means z equal to 0 is a 0 of order 3. Okay, but we can also see that whether there is any other point which is also 0. Okay, here we see that z equal to 0 is a 0, but is there any other point which is also 0 of this function? So the answer is yes, because if we put here z equal to pi, so you can see that sine pi is 0, so the whole function will be 0. It means z equal to pi is also a 0 of this function. Okay, so z equal to pi is also a 0 of this function, and similarly if you put z equal to minus pi, so sine of minus pi is also 0, so it means z equal to minus pi is also 0. Then if you put z equal to 2 pi, that at z equal to 2 pi, this is also 0, because sine pi, sine 2 pi, sine 3 pi, sine 4 pi all are 0, and similarly sine minus pi, sine minus 2 pi, sine minus 3 pi, they all are 0. It means z equal to plus minus pi, plus minus 2 pi, plus minus 3 pi, and so on, that is n pi, they all are zeros of this function fz. Okay, but also we have to find the order. So here we can see that when we are putting here pi, f pi, so f pi we are getting 0, and if we put z equal to pi in this derivative, so here you get pi square cos pi plus 2 pi sin pi. So this term will be 0, but this term will not be 0 because pi square cos pi is minus 1, so you will get here minus pi square. So it means first derivative is non-zero. And similarly at z equal to minus pi also, first derivative is non-zero, z equal to 2 pi, z equal to minus pi, at all these points the first derivative is non-zero. Hence we can say that these z equal to pi, plus minus 2 pi, plus minus, they all are zeros of order 1, that is simple zeros. Okay. So these are simple zeros or zeros of order 1. So these all are zeros, but they are simple zeros. Okay, so for this function z equals sin z equal to 0 is a 0 of order 3, and all these points are zeros of order 1, that is simple zeros. Okay, so this is about zeros of analytic function. Now we come to singularities or singular points. So singular point and singularity are the same thing. So a point z equal to z naught is called a singular point or singularity. Singular point or singularity if the function fz is not analytic or not defined at z equal to this z naught. Fz is not analytic, or we can say that even not defined at this point z equal to z naught. Okay. So if a function is not defined or not analytic at some point, then that point is called singular point or singularity. Also, suppose the function is given in the form of some, let us take a rational function. A rational function, that is, function is in the form of something pz upon qz. That is, the function is in the form of numerator and upon denominator. Okay. So if we have a function like this, then this then a point z equal to z naught will be the singular point or singularity of this function if its denominator is 0. Z equal to z naught is singular point if this q and denominator at z naught is 0, but numerator at z naught is not 0. It means simply in simple language we can say that if the denominator is 0 at some point of a function, then the function is not analytic at that point, and that point or those point is called singular point or singularities. Okay. So let us take some example. So for example, if we simply take a function like this, z minus 1, z minus 2, z minus 3, z minus 4. Okay. So if we take this example, so here we can see that this function is not defined or not analytic if we take z equal to 3 or z equal to 4. So this is like a function of this type, rational function, numerator upon denominator. Okay. So denominator is not 0 at z equal to 3 and denominator is 0 at z equal to 3 and z equal to 4. It means the function will not be analytic at z equal to 3 and z equal to 4. So these are the singular points. So z equal to 3 and z equal to 4 are singular points. Also, we can also find the zeros. So zeros are those points at which the numerator is 0, and singularities are those points at which the denominator is 0. So here z equal to 1 and z equal to 2 are the zeros, and they are simple zeros. Z equal to 1, z equal to 2 are simple zeros. We can take one more example to understand this concept. So let us take fz is equal to sine 1 upon sine pi upon z. So we are taking this example, fz equal to 1 upon sine pi upon z. We want to find the singular points of this function. It means this is, again we can see that this function is in the form of numerator upon denominator, rational function. So the function is not defined when the denominator is 0. So if we take sine pi upon z equal to 0, so this will be 0 at z equal to, if we put here 1, z equal to 1, so sine pi will be 0. So we can put z equal to 1 and we can also put z equal to minus 1. Okay. Next, we can put here z is equal to 1 by 2. If you put z equal to 1 by 2 here, this will be sine 2 pi and sine 2 pi is also 0. So it means the denominator will be 0. So z equal to plus minus 1 upon 2. And similarly, plus minus 1 upon 3, plus minus 1 upon 4 and so on. These all are the values of z at which the denominator is 0. It means the function fz is not defined and not analytic. Hence, these points are singular points of this function fz. So these are singular points. Okay. So these z equal to plus minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 3 and so on are the singular points of this point, this function. So now we define one more thing, one more definition as isolated singularity. And non-isolated. There are two types of singularities, isolated and non-isolated. So if we have a singularity z0 and if there is no other singularity in the neighborhood of this z0, then we say that this z0 is isolated singularity. Okay, you can understand this like this. Suppose we take a region R and we take a point z0. So if this z0 is a singularity of the given function fz, but there is no other singularity in the neighborhood of z0, then this z0 is called isolated singularity. Okay, isolated means the singularities are separated with some distance. Okay, and if we have a singularity z0 and if we take a neighborhood of that z0 and we can find other singularities also in this neighborhood, it means there are some singularity which is in the neighborhood of this z0, then in that case that singularity is known as non-isolated singularity. Okay, so we can understand this again by an example. So let us take an example as fz is equal to 1 upon e raised to the power z minus 1. Suppose we want to find a singularity and we want to see which type of singularity is this. So again the singularity will be when the denominator is 0. Singular points are those points at which the denominator is 0. Okay. So if we can take this, if we take this e raised power z minus 1 equal to 0, that means e raised power z equal to 1. So what are the values of z at which this e raised power z equal to 1? The values of z will be 2n pi I. Okay, 2n pi I. Because if you put z equal to, suppose we put 2 pi I, so e raised power z will be cos 2 pi plus I sin 2 pi. Cos 2 pi is 1 and sin 2 pi is 0, so the value is 1. And similarly, if we put z equal to 3, if we take n equal to 2, that will be 4 pi I or 6 pi I. So at all these points, this function e raised power z minus 1 is 0. It means if this function is 0, it means we can say that these points are the singular points of this function fz. Okay. So we are getting the singular points as 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, if we put the values of n. Similarly, we can put the negative values also. So 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, these are the values. So these are called singular point because if you take z equal to 2 pi, then in its neighborhood, there is no other singularity. Okay. So the next singularity is 4 pi, 6 pi, and similarly minus 2 pi. So there is no other singularity in the neighborhood of z equal to 2 pi. So it is isolated singularity. These singularities are isolated. And similarly, we can see non-isolated. Okay, so non-isolated singularity, we can say that a singularity which is not isolated is called non-isolated singularity. Non-isolated singularity. So a singularity which is not isolated, is called non-isolated singularity. So we can take an example of non-isolated singularity. So or we can say that if we take the region some R and if we take a point z0, so if in the neighborhood of this z0 we can find other singularities also, then it is non-isolated. So we can take example as fz is equal to log z. Okay. So here we can see that we know that log z is not defined at z equal to 0. This is z equal to 0 and this z equal to 0 is a singularity because it at z equal to 0 this log z is not defined. So this is a singularity, and if we take the points, these points means all negative values. So this function log z is also not defined at all these negative values. It means these points are also the singularity of this function log z, and these are also non-isolated, because if you take any singularity here, you can find many other singularities in the neighborhood. If suppose you take z equal to minus 1, so z equal to minus 1 is a singularity, and z equal to minus 1.1, minus 1.2, minus 1.3, they all are also singularities. So it means we can find many other singularities in the neighborhood of z equal to minus 1. Okay. So z equal to 0 is a singularity, and we can say that all these points, infinity to 0, these all are non-isolated singularity. Non-isolated singularities. These are non-isolated singularities. Okay.